baby. Thank you so much, Sav. Hello, everybody. Sorry we're a little late here, but it's Mega Man 4. I love Mega Man 4. I'm Mr. Cab. One more time, are you here too?
I am indeed here. Good morning, everyone.
One more time, thank you so much for showing up to couch this run with me. Always good to have someone to talk Mega Man with.
Of course, this is my favorite one, so, always happy to be watching it.
So we will see this screen again in just a little bit. We're going to just get things started in a moment. There is a little bit of flashing in the screen. I know some people are familiar with Brightman's weapon. I'm just going to fire this off once right early before we get started. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to see that a lot through this run, unfortunately. But just wanted to give that heads up sooner than later. With that, I think we're ready to go. Is everybody else ready to go? I'm going to give us a countdown, or do you want to give me a countdown? Either way, we will get started then in 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right.
Here's 2 main routes for Mega Man 4. There's Bright first, there's Pharaoh first. We're going to Bright first because honestly, Pharaoh Man's weapon gives us a nice diagonal shot. And there's one enemy in Brightman stage in particular that always gives me trouble if I don't have it, so we're going this way. Fortunately, that means we have active quicksand here that we have to deal with, which is always fun.
Yeah. Overall, there isn't really like a huge time difference between the two runs. Pharaoh first is technically faster, I think roughly about like 3 seconds or so if you're good at mashing, which Cap clearly is.
I wouldn't even say I'm good at mashing, but yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. There's also the balloon problem, where we get this very nice item here. And in Brightman stage, if you're really, really good, you can use it to save a few seconds. That's really risky in any setting, though. We're probably going to ignore that. Did use Rush Coil there as well, because there's an entire other part of this stage that we just skipped over by going that way. And now we're in everybody's favorite section of an NES game, lag management. Every time I'm getting these enemies to shoot bullets, I'm failing to manage lag. You got on top of this last platform in time, good. As long as you're standing on them, they don't shoot their bullets. But, well, we went 1 for 4.
Yeah, it's difficult to land on those platforms quick enough that they don't shoot off their bullets, but if you can save a shocking amount of time in that room.
Yeah, I mean, now we're going to have the same problem here. This last one's always kind of annoying. But, yeah, we're almost up to Pharaoh Man himself. We're going to face Pharaoh Man. And we do have this newfangled thing. You have to bring yourself back to 1991 for a minute here. This is the first game where we can charge up the Mega Buster. Get these big shots off. So, Pharaoh Man also has a charge shot, I guess. Pharaoh Man, for better or worse, is the one robot master in this game that doesn't do 8 points of contact damage. So, it's really good because Pharaoh Man is extremely jumpy. Gotta get in his face because we think that makes him not shoot a lot. So, yeah. What is that? 9 charge shots and a lemon. He's down. We get the Pharaoh shot. We're going to stay centered in the room. Mega Man doesn't jump up. That's good. And we've got a small break here. Sav, if you got anything.
Absolutely. I have a $20 donation for you. I almost have the name of the person to pronounce. I'll get it to you. Drocker? Oh, the mystery is solved, yes. So Cab is such a bright person that rings through the Mega Man community. I'm ready to dive right into this run that he surely had to drill a bunch of practice in for. It will be fun to jump up and down like a toad after seeing his skills in the run. Something Pharaoh and Dust. Look, I tried. Sending all the love from behind the scenes. Love you, Cab.
Oh, thank you. So that's what it feels like to be on the receiving end of that. I love it. So yes, with Pharaoh Man down, we are right here into the weapon robot that should work on Pharaoh. We're in Brightman stage. One more time, how do you feel about grasshoppers?
Oh, I hate grasshoppers. Absolutely. At least I hate these grasshoppers because they have 2 separate patterns they can do, either long jumps or short jumps. Long jumps are obviously quicker. short jumps are obviously slower. And if they do short jumps, these guys cost so much lag, and it can actually cost you a ton of time in this room. And unfortunately, Cab got a little unlucky. I think pretty much every one of those was a short.
At least 2 or 3 of them were short, yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of speed it up by waiting for those totems to fire at you and just back boosting to slide on the spikes. There's that enemy I have to shoot up to get. You're going to walk on the right side of this platform. Just kind of zoom up there. If you ever get caught on the left edge of these, just slide.
Mm-hmm. And you'll be fine. And yeah, Cab's able to just hold right on those because the platforms actually move at the same speed as Mega Man. So he actually just never can fall off these all the way over to the right and holding right.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So I heard people here like math. We're going to talk math. Bright Man, much like Pharaoh Man I was just talking about earlier, 28 hit points. Every time I hit him with this Pharaoh shot, we got to talk about Pharaoh shot mechanics later too. 3 hit points. Bright Man's supposed to hit us with the flash stopper at some point, but he'll only do it when he has, I think it's 4, 8, or 16 hit points left. So, yeah, that's why we hit him with the exact kind of pattern we did. As long as you hit him with something that does 1 point of damage earlier and everything else does 3, you'll be fine. Bright Man with flash stopper instead of bright stopper. I don't make the rules. We're going to go into Ringman stage, but Sav, feel free to just jump in. Tell me if you got anything.
Absolutely. I've got 2 anonymous no comment donations for you. That's $25 and $15. And you said you like math, so that adds up to 40.
Ooh.
And hopefully they donated towards that All Secrets upgrade for Super Hot, which has $415 left on it. So how's that math for you?
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
That's some good math.
My goodness. Sometimes you just can't jump around a cannon. Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna blame the equipment because that's what you always do. But we've got to save some hit points here, so we're gonna do some backup strats. So as long as you're holding B coming onto the screen, the Pharaoh shot will charge up. We didn't talk about this much last stage, but in the NES version of this game, you hit something with it. Oh my goodness. And it will connect, but it won't actually use any weapon energy. My goodness.
Yeah,
We're
Pharaoh
gonna
shot's
do
very
something
useful.
Really dumb here.
Yeah, Cab's going to get this backup health through here since, unfortunately, hitting those cannons with Mega Man's body takes a surprising amount of hit points off of Mega Man.
And we are now kind of in the unknown territory here of, okay, where else can I save health? This is like the part of speedrunning where you get into improvisation, and it's like, it's good for situations like this, and it's like questionable for world record attempts, but if you can do it, you can survive these really wild race, no reset situations.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, honestly, this kind of proves that Ringman has one of the most difficult stages in the game, I would say, and which makes it kind of nice that it's right near the start of the run. On top of doing some very difficult tricks right off the start, using the balloon adapter to basically just put it into the wall and hop off of it whilst despawning to just quickly climb that room. There's a lot of intentional damage you need to take through this. And so health management is very, very important.
Yeah, I feel like Mega Man, the Ringman stage especially, like you will optimally end the stage with like 2 hit points and no ammo left.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Take this fight a little safe just because the beginning of the stage was so crazy and like, yeah, no ammo left after everything I did.
Mm-hmm.
This was a mess and I missed the pixel too, but you know, we're here.
I mean, you saved it. You know, it's very easy for things to go wrong, like I said, and managed to clear it out. Very good.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're going forward. We're gonna go dust. There are 2 ways to do Dust Man stage. Well, there's a safe way where you use Bright, and it just freezes all the enemies in place, and you can just casually go through everything. We're gonna give things a shot with Pharaoh here.
Oh yes, the Pharaoh strats are very, very fun here.
We're gonna have to angle these shots down and from the right location to kill those enemies as they're coming out of the pit. With Bright, they just don't even spawn. And then this room actually is just called the lag room.
Indeed, indeed. And you're going to see why, because of these rising platforms. Just the fact that they exist alongside these enemies just causes this room to slow down to a crawl. Thankfully, lag does not eat inputs in Mega Man 4, unlike some other Mega Man games. But as you can see, you need to hit those enemies the second they show up. Otherwise, once again, you could be losing like 3 to 5 seconds, depending on how lazy your shots are.
Yeah, and then you've got the lag, just lag from drops in that room. It's a giant mess. And of course, we go right into the crush room. We've got some pretty specific movement here, and if I didn't get caught on a bunch of blocks there, we'd be going for it on that cycle.
This room is very difficult to do optimally because, as you can see, just with how the crushers are moving, it can actually like basically slide Mega Man back and forth. Ring Boomerang is not a large hitbox. It looks like it's a large hitbox, but it isn't. It's actually just a pixel wide. And so it's actually very easy to fire Ring Boomerang and not actually destroy all those blocks and get through that room as cleanly as possible.
Yeah. Fortunately, Mega Man's hitbox in this game is when he's sliding is like really narrow. It doesn't even touch the ground. That's why we didn't trigger platforms in Ring Man stage earlier. That's why we'll have a little bit of an easier time in Dive Man stage later on.
Mm.
Dust, dive, drill.
Yeah, that was a very cooperative Dust Man too. Not bad.
Usually Dust Man has the ability to go invincible, though we are again collecting a weapon, so Sav, we've got anything.
Yeah, dodge, duck, dip, dive, dust, drill.
We're not talking about Dodgers today. That's another story, though. Uh-oh.
I've got a $37 anonymous no comment donation. Thank you so much. And that matches how we have $378 left for that super hot incentive. Thank you so much.
Let's get that super hot donation in there. Coming up very soon. We definitely want to meet that. By the way, we just blew right past this game's only human viable zip that saves time. Between Mega Man 2 and 3, Mega Man 2 and 3, they got to 4, they realized we should really stop the player from going out of bounds. It's embarrassing. We gotta stop this. So in Mega Man 4, if Mega Man's in a wall, he dies. Oh, we got the percussion part here. I like.
Indeed.
Yeah, in Mega Man 4, if you have iframes, you can go through walls. And yeah, that's the only real place it's human viable to set that up. And there's one other task spot very later. This game kind of famously has a refight skip, spoilers. But it only works in a task setting because it requires 40 consecutive frame perfect inputs. Something like that.
Yeah, something around there.
So yes, we have now entered the part of the run where the Flash Stopper is going to get used a lot.
Yeah, Flash Stopper.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Flash Stopper is insanely useful. On top of the fact that it freezes all enemies in place, it actually makes some enemies that would otherwise be invincible be vulnerable. Like, for instance, any enemies that would normally have a shield and whatnot would actually be all of a sudden take damage through that shield. You can also extend how long the Flash Stopper actually lasts by sliding. So you can actually go entire rooms just with one Flash Stopper if you're particularly good with your slides and essentially trivialize large sections of this game.
It is true. That's why Bright is so powerful. It needs to happen early in this run for that exact reason. Mm-hmm. And we're going to see it a lot for the rest of the robots. And then, of course, like a lot of the other NES Mega Man games, once we hit the castle stages, we don't get our weapon energy back between stages, so it's less effective at that point, but it is still a great backup to have. And with a Skull down, and yeah, and Skull is completely manipulatable, so that was we can talk about that fight a little bit more when we get to it again later. Dive Man stage. This is our water stage, and in Mega Man 4, 5, and 6, famously, you can't jump out of slides underwater. I believe it has something kind of more technically to do with foreground tiles, which water happens to be. This is a whale. It looks like it's a kind of weird beaming in animation, but it's actually a whale. That's our mid-boss. One other part of Mega Man speedrunning right there. That was a full slide across that whole thing. There was a runner of Mega Man 6, Raiden, way back when. And we have come to kind of call anytime you can like slide across one platform perfectly, that's a Raiden slide. Obviously, sliding in Mega Man games, when you have the slide, fastest form of movement for the most part. So anytime you can kind of time out, yes, this will be a slide and it will work, that's a good thing. And if you missed the whale the first time, here it is again. You can kind of see that outline of it there. We're going to go here and not get the wire. I'm sorry, wire fans. We're going to jump over this pit. Now,
poor wire.
Or wire. So right there, you can see that like stingray kind of existed above the platform, and we just slid right over the top of it. It goes back to like Mega Man's hitbox while sliding is very small. It's like ridiculously narrow, so you can get through all sorts of really small passages. The Dustman Crusher is a lot safer than it looks as a result. We got Dive Man here, who is weak to Skull Barrier, and he likes to drill through the water at us. Intentional choice of words. One other thing we haven't talked too much about. Things in this game trigger... Oh, we got it!
Nice!
With when the bubbles go off the screen, that's when the fanfare starts. We want to be on that magic pixel again to get out. But if you can actually be in the middle of the screen when it starts, you can get that animation to happen, which itself saves like another second or two. You can only pull that one off reliably in Dive Man and Pharaoh Man stage. You can get it in other stages, but you would need like Rush Coil, I think, to get it. I've seen that in a few other fan games, as it were. So we got the one that we can actually get. Nice.
Yeah, not bad.
So again, we're going to leave Drill Man stage to the Flash Stopper. And one more time, like you were talking about earlier, if you slide, the timer on how long Flash Stopper works just doesn't activate at all.
Yeah,
so
makes the... Oh, go.
No, go ahead. I'm like managing my health here because I've already got the one earlier scare in Ring Man stage. It's like, oh no, what am I going to do with this?
No worries. And this stage can be very, very scary because there's a lot of damage boosting you have to do. Because while Flash Stopper is great about trivializing a lot of these rooms, it does mean that sometimes there's just going to be enemies in your way, and the quickest way is just to slide through them. But yeah, this stage is basically just Flash Stopper, period.
Yeah.
Nearly every room is going to make use of it in some ways, and this is a room that if you can just use one Flash Stopper to get through it absolutely perfectly. If your jumps are great, your slides are on point. It's actually very beautiful to see in motion, like top level runners like really pulling this off.
Yeah, get through that entire room in like one flash. And it's like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm. And now to everyone's favorite boss in Mega Man 4, Drill Man, aka RNG Man.
Well, it's Dive Man, right? The Dive Man drills at us and Drill Man dives at us.
Yes.
They got the names wrong.
They did. Honestly, it's very disappointing on Capcom. Localization and whatnot. They need to be better, but...
I'm going to blame that.
Yes, exactly. Cap not only did a very good job getting those dive missiles on him, but Drill Man was very cooperative. At pretty much any point, Drill Man could just drop into the ground, and it wastes 3.5 seconds every single time he does that.
Every single time, yeah.
Yep.
Tab, do you have anything for us?
I do have a little question. You melted that water level, and
Sure.
it seems like you are in front of a water level yourself. Pat wants to know, what is this lake behind you?
I wish I had a meme answer to this. I really did. This, I think, is actually Greenbrier Park in 2010. And it was just a beautiful place. I had this photo, and I've just been using it as my background for a very long time now.
Nice.
But the water's great. Everybody should, come on out. I love natural settings sometimes as much as I sit in front of a computer way too much. Like, oh man. I'm sorry. I do wish I had a meme answer to this.
Well, it's great that you informed us. So thank you for that.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. But yeah, there's a lot of great, beautiful places out there. Don't mind exploring. I think I know where my camera is. Oh my goodness, we're going through Toadman stage here.
We indeed are. Yes, the very what is funnily enough like the supposed to be the very first stage you're supposed to be doing. We're actually doing it last. So there is a mini boss there, Escargoon, I believe is what his name
We got another one here.
Yeah, another one right there, and we're just not going to deal with him. If you flash topper him when he's still spawning in, you can actually completely bypass him. Like, you'll still have to take some damage, but you can just walk off the side of the screen and you don't have to deal with him.
Yeah. It goes back to the Nintendo Power and the Game Pro days where they say go to Toadman first because Toadman is a really easy robot master. Toadman has the devastating ability to hit the whole screen, so he should be really hard, and you can only stop it by shooting him a lot.
Yeah, every time you shoot him, he either stops his attack pattern or he tries to jump. So yeah, easy to stun lock.
Yeah, but yeah, this stage, the first screen has the wind pushing you back, making those jumps harder. The second screen, you can jump out of some of those water flowing off the platform tiles, but I think at some point in there, again, it's a foreground tile problem. There's a much more technical explanation than that, but it's tricky to jump out of those slides sometimes. That's a very deceptively dangerous room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
that second...
the snails, actually. A lesser known fact, if you take a death and go to the second snail a second time and use Flash Topper as fast as possible, you can actually soft lock the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let Sav talk as we jump through this stage. This is kind of a buster stage again, but I do want to point out, just for the fans that like to go use the password and get here, there's an E-Tank on the left of the screen now. Free tank takes 2 seconds to get. Go get it. But Sav, if you got anything, we're going to just slide her through the snow here.
Yeah, absolutely. So far we have just over $23,000 towards direct relief, which is dispatching more than 25 shipments of specifically requested emergency medical aid in Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee. So you've heard Cab talking about health management, and these people are doing it on the ground. So please get your donations into disaster relief.
Let's help this out. I'm seeing some like the pictures out there. Anything we can do to help out would be wonderful. So this screen is a little dangerous. Bright is probably best spent in the castles on that screen, but we can use the buster, just save a little bit of time. Don't have to switch weapons. The classic problem of NES games for Mega Man, no fast weapon swapping yet. That didn't get figured out until the SNES. So every time we have to pause, that's losing time. So we want to stay on one weapon as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we got that screen. We have balloons, so we can get through that a little bit quicker. And one more time, you mentioned earlier that Ring's hitbox is actually only 1 pixel despite being that massive animation. How big is this boss's hitbox?
Oh, isn't it about the same size?
It is the same size.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, hitting that boss is... needless to say, it's kind of a pain. If he's all the way at the top of the screen and you try to fire Ring Boomerang, you are going to miss. So you have to be very careful about how you fire on there and watch his pattern as he bobs up and down, which Cap did wonderfully there.
Yeah, like as a kid, I knew that it was Ring Boomerang, but I didn't like know the 1 pixel thing. That was one of the 2 times I actually wrote into Nintendo Power, like, how do I hit this thing? Oh my goodness. Well, speedrunners sometimes will have like their own audio cues and everything else they say oddly. So, if I don't say that, I have a lot of trouble doing that. You have to get the second jump there. We didn't talk about balloon a lot earlier when we probably should have. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, the balloon basically, you're not always supposed to use Rush Jet through here, right? But if you use balloon, as you can see, it is quite a bit quicker. You damage boost off of these enemies, balloon basically over the spikes, and all of a sudden it gets you through this room pretty quickly. In here, you could also do another strat where you intentionally take damage and you could balloon up to that ladder relatively quickly. Of course, health management is very, very important because there's a very dangerous boss that's going to be coming up here in a little bit. So Cav is wisely taking a little bit safer here.
And you can see the balloon kind of fading into and out of existence there. I think it's 16 frames you have to jump off that balloon if you put one in the wall.
That is correct.
Seems kind of silly, but there's a couple of points in the game where you can't really fit a balloon in there otherwise. And also, balloons themselves generate a whole bunch of lag. So anything you can do to reduce lag by, despawning that balloon after 16 frames, it's a good thing. Come on, Square Machine, for the people. Oh, no!
Unlucky. So Square Machine is a terrible boss. He has 3 patterns he could do, either 3 passes, 2 passes, or 1 pass. As you can imagine, 3 passes incredibly slow, 1 pass incredibly fast. Cap's going to try to get at least 4 hits in on here, and he does. Optimally would be 5, but 4 is fine, because if you get 4 in, you're most likely going to get a 2 cycle on this boss. And unfortunately, you got the 3-3.
The most common pattern. I think 3-2 is the most common.
Yeah, I think somebody did the math and it actually comes out to be 3-2.
Yeah. Every time it crosses the screen, it goes slower, and it only comes together after that really slowest pass. So, yeah, it can get the 1x1. I think it's like 1% of the time you'll get it, and when you do, you save a whole bunch of time because you don't have to sit and watch the other patterns go by.
Indeed. Yeah, so 10% chance to get a 1 pass, and if you ever get a PB with that, you basically always curse coming to Caustic 2, because you're like, well, I'm just going to just lose 10 seconds, I guess.
16.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
3x2 is the common one, but if you get the 3x3, yeah. I see the dancing emotes in chat, and this is the auto-scroller stage with Mega Man 4 song. Just relax and enjoy the tunes right now.
Yeah. We had Wire, we could do something neat, but we can't, so at this point, it's just the prerequisite auto-scroller with awesome music.
I don't know, Sav, if you have a favorite lake you want to talk about right now.
Or donations, one or the other.
I gotta say, I just saw Lake Louise in Canada. That's pretty amazing. But I do have some love for you. A big donation, $100 from J-Dub, aka Dr. Flo.
Nice.
He says, always glad to see the Mega Man community here to help raise money for good causes. Thank you so much, J-Dub.
Thank you.
So, real quick interlude there. Those enemies are a common type of enemy in Mega Man that are usually pretty much invincible except for one type of weapon. Here, it happens to be Ring Boomerang, so you either just use those, get through them quickly, and now more auto-scrolling with platforms that are incredibly dangerous.
Once you see the unhappy face on the top right of the clouds, you can't unsee the unhappy face on the top right of the clouds.
He's so sad.
No.
So these platforms, when you step on them, they will slowly go down and then quickly fly back up once Mega Man is off of them. They can be a little bit glitchy at times. Not necessarily like super duper dangerous, but later on in the stage we're going to be doing something a little fancy with them in order to save some time.
Yeah. Being on these platforms also like lags the game a little bit. I think that's the one. That last one, if you are if it catches you at the top of the screen, if you try to go over the top like that, it can push you to the left, which can be a little dangerous. Holding left here and walk. Shouts to Chelny. All right, the Cockroach Twins.
There we go.
Yeah, once that shot came out, I figured I'm gonna not even try and do the double shot, because you can fire that last shot so it actually hits this one as it spawns, which saves a shot of ammo. In a world record setting, you would never refill Pharaoh in the castle stages. You'd have to use it though to defeat this boss, defeat Ringman in the friend in a few stages. I'm going to keep on saying our very special friend because, of course, final boss of this game is everybody who read the instruction manual and believed it knows, and nobody else knows because we're all going to pretend it didn't happen yet. Dr. Cossack is actually the villain of this game. I don't know. This Dr. Wily guy has been left in the dust.
Indeed, he is. Those evil Russians.
I don't know who that is. So, this is the Pharaoh refill that you would route in as the backup just in case, and in no reset setting, you just get it. Now, this is another stage with a shortcut. You know, when the Legacy Collection came out, there's like challenge stages and like, oh, do it this way. Like, there's one section of this stage that shows up, and it's like, what is this stage? Where is this? And, oh, that's the other half of this one. What? If you go up the top left ladder.
Yeah, I remember playing that and just being absolutely lost. Like, I don't know how to deal with this. I had to actually play Mega Man. It was ridiculous.
Who goes that way? So, yes, that path is slower than this one. It has those enemies that pop up out of the pits again, so we don't want to see it. Dr. Cossack and the Cossack Catcher. I think it's technically kind of sort of weak to dust. Also takes 2 points of damage from any charge shot. But one like weird bug in it is that it will stop moving if you slide. So we're going to slide a lot and just kind of get it to stop moving. And lock it into place.
Yeah, this boss could otherwise be kind of dangerous and I wouldn't necessarily say unpredictable, but predictably unpredictable, if that makes any sort of sense. You want to try to kill him to the far left like Cav did because the cutscene doesn't play until Mega Man gets into place, which that was actually a really, really good fight. Not bad.
Dr. Wily! I'm sorry, my voice is completely shot right now. Yeah, so this is what I get for going out to things. Dr. Wily with the most famous eyebrows in gaming. Shout out to LV Creed.
He indeed does. And now we get 4 more fortress stages. And in this first stage, it's going to be a lot of fun because we get to meet the Mets.
You get to meet the Mets. That's why my voice is shot right now. Baseball playoffs are going. I never get into the stage when the Mets are actually doing good. So this is where we get to say it's all about the Mets, Spider-Man. They love the Mets. Let's go Mets, baby. Hit a home run. I have not yet memorized that, and I really need to. But yeah, every enemy in the stage is the Met Tool, Metor. I don't even remember what these enemies' technical name is, but they are the Mets. Every last enemy is a Met. So let's go. Absolutely love this stage.
It is a great stage. It's a very, very difficult to pull off in a clean fashion, like particularly that room. Cav actually did a pretty darn good job of pulling it off in a way that looked quite clean. But it's a very Buster heavy stage. It's a very just execution heavy stage, with the exception of this area right here where Cav is going to use Rush Jet. And I think this is pretty much the only time we use Rush Jet, except maybe in...
oh no, next stage is Rush Jet the stage. These are our 2 Yoku block rooms. So one thing here, you can hold left and Mega Man goes much slower, which makes jumping through that little 2-tile gap a lot easier. Yeah, I kind of appreciate that there's a couple of these castle stages where they are Buster stages. Because you go through this whole game using using all these other weapons, and now we finally get to show off the Mega Buster. Mega Man's default weapon, that thing. Here is the biggest Met.
Indeed.
I absolutely love that Chad is singing the Meet the Met song right now. This is amazing.
Yes.
No, wait, it's amazing.
So yeah, Met Daddy is he's a bit difficult because you really have to dodge him.
No, nobody likes the Dodgers. That'll be the end of our real baseball snack talk for the moment, though. Dodgers. Oh, my goodness.
Terrible, I know.
Oh, no. I'm going to start a war in chat right now. Sorry.
I mean, if you want to start a war in donations, I'd love that, too.
Yeah. Donate with who you think is going to do baseball and let's make, what is it, Super Hot? We want that to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
We want that to happen.
All secrets. We're almost a quarter of the way there, so that's pretty good. But I was thinking about something you said earlier, and the most famous eyebrows in gaming. I don't know. Wario could have a run for the money. Wario's eyebrows are choice.
We need a lineup of eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. There are some deceptive slides earlier in the stage where if you hold right on those slides, you will find the spikes. If you don't hold anything, you will also find the spikes. So you've got to kind of hold the direction for just long enough. Now, like I was saying a moment ago, this is Rush Jet the stage. There's enough spots where we want Rush Jet. And because we can fire lemons with Rush on the screen, we're just going to keep Rush out the whole stage. Because again, fast weapon swapping doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
I feel like every Mega Man game on the NES that has Rush has a stage that you can like kind of call it. It's Rush at the stage, looking right there, just so Rush looks right. He's a frame perfect jump. Like all these like little things where you just have to manage Rush beaming in so you can actually shoot, and then not having Rush hang out too long so you can avoid having lag of Rush on the screen.
Yeah, so as you can see, Cab will be doing things like holding like left or right so that Rush tries to spawn in the wall. And since he can't, he just falls down. But since he's on screen, he can shoot, and that's great. And there, just fly over and take care of those gumball machines and no issues. And oh, good. So what Cab did there is that he jumped into that boss arena and fired off a rain flush. By doing that, it I believe it skips the boss's health from just fully like filling up.
Yeah.
So you can just instantly get into that fight. And then another fun fact, you could use the drill bomb to blow up essentially his hitbox. Or not necessarily his hitbox, but basically blow up the barrier that keeps you from just walking to the right, being behind him, and just trivializing that boss.
Yeah. Kind of intentionally there, shot him low with the drill bombs first, and you can see like you're able to walk in, because a lot of times if you hit him on the top half, or it's really kind of the middle where the gem is, it will destroy the entire hitbox and you can just walk freely inside of it. But a lot of times when you don't completely know how it works, you go in there and then it's like, wait, I thought there was no hitbox here. Why am I getting hit all the time? What's going on? And so yeah, if you only shoot the bottom half, the top half of that hitbox stays intact, and you might take a lot of damage that way. So now you can't say I didn't warn you. As advertised earlier, we have some refights here. Anything else we've got, Sad from the host side, just jump in whenever.
Oh, awesome. I wanted to remind everyone that we are raising money for Direct Relief, which is responding to Hurricanes Helene and Milton. And Direct Relief is a great organization, humanitarian aid active all over the United States and more than 80 countries. So the mission is to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergencies. So this is an amazing cause, everybody. Keep those donations coming. If you want a meme about baseball or eyebrows, or someone wants to make a YouTube video about the top 10 eyebrows that was requested in the chat, feel free to do that. Let us know in the donations.
Who does have the third best eyebrows after Wily and Wario?
I saw Ryu in the chat.
I said Zion Ryu. Ryu's are pretty good.
Eyebrows.
You want to show off at least again. Skullman's completely manipulatable. If you don't do anything, Skullman doesn't do anything.
He's a very courteous robot master. He really likes Mega Man to go first.
Just using that skull barrier as long as possible. Not so courteous. Again, we use dust on Pharaoh there because it's actually the fastest. It's not actually even his true weakness, but it does 2 points of damage per shot, and we can get those shots off quickly. So that's nice. As I alluded to earlier, no fast weapon swapping. We want to stay on weapons as much as possible. Here's Bright again. We want to hit Bright with either 3 or 5 skull barriers, preferably 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that keeps Brightman off those magic values of 4, 8, and 16 hit points. And then we can use his actual weakness of Rain Flush. Now, because we still have 1 Rain Flush left, we can take that into the Drillman fight. Drillman dives. You can't hit him when he's underground, right? Well, Acid Rain will do that 1 point of damage to him. But that's actually useful, because with dive missiles, he would have had 1 hit point left at the end. So why did you waste 4 seconds, Drillman?
And here we go, Drillman doing what Drillman does best, which is diving. Although, he cooperated there. That's actually not too bad.
It's not too bad. If you ever run with 0 dives outside of that opening scripted dive, that's actually really good. Ooh, peppy. I forget what all the Star Fox eyebrows look like.
Well, there's definitely some eyebrow folks in the chat.
I don't know my Resident Evil 4 if Leon has good eyebrows. That's another Capcom game though.
Robotnik, although I think the mustache is maybe more prominent.
Dr. Robotnik is all about the mustache and like that. Kind of like Wario, actually, with the crooked, like very jagged edge to it.
Definitely. Very pronounced. We got Beetle from Legend of Zelda, Warcraft elves, Peppy. Yeah. We've got some facial hair experts.
I'm like trying to think what a Beetle's eyebrows. Beetle is a treasure.
Yes,
Beetle is a treasure.
I would never want to discount Beetle on anything. The wonderful weapon tink sound here. But Ring is the weakness.
Yeah, and you can, for the first form here, you can just hang out underneath them, and you can pretty much avoid taking any damage. For the last hit, Cab went ahead and used the drill missile there, or drill bomb, in order to just destroy him and basically give instantly fill up the second form's health, allow you to get straight into that fight. His weakness also happens to be that same weapon for the second form, although oddly enough, you have to actually manually explode the missiles before in order to actually do damage on the boss. A lot of people actually get kind of locked up on that boss because of that. Because if you just fire the missile, it just tinks off.
Yeah. A full charge shot will still hit it. But yeah, like you said, you have to hit B again to detonate the drill bomb, and that explosion will actually hit it. We've got a corridor with some enemies here because Capcom hadn't quite figured out that maybe the final boss shouldn't be vulnerable to a specific weapon that you might not have all the ammo for yet. You must hit the final boss with either Pharaoh. Ring does 1 point of damage. That's the only other thing that hurts it. Time is when this robot explodes, assuming I don't also explode. Happens more often than you might think.
Yeah, a non-zero chance, because he essentially does the same amount of damage to you as you do to him. But yeah, we should be good.
There's time.
Great run, Cab.
Oh,
GG's.
we cut 41. That's usually my marathon target, is getting in that 41 range. And it is ridiculously, it's scarily consistent, and I wish it was lower than that. But it's still consistent, and that's good. Yeah, I do want to thank everybody on the GDQ staff. I know I gave them a hard time this morning. Thank you oh so much for everything. And thank you, everybody out there in chat, everybody who's donating. Thank you one more time for hanging out. Thank you, Sav, for helping us out and just everything. I don't know. I'm going to start rambling too much here if you let me go. So thank you.
Absolutely. One more time. Do you have any shout outs as well for the community?
Oh, shout out to the Mega Man community. Shout out to my girlfriend who got up early in the morning to support this run as well and support the community. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Just appreciate being here.